This is Talk About Topeka on Gab Local TV and TV 25. This episode brought to you by Field of Greens and The Break Room. And here's your host, Chris Schultz.
All right, so we have a great segment for you because my good friend Jennifer Goetz is here. She's from the Kansas Children's Discovery Center for an event that I'm really partial to because last year, well, I'm not just saying that because they threw me off a building to say it. So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
You were a controlled fall. That was not a toss, I swear.
It was awesome. It really was.
Good.
Very cool. This whole event, I remember when we were talking about it before it ever, it was just kind of this out there idea, a couple of years ago. And I remember that, we're like, are people going to do this? And they did. It was a very successful event last year.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah, people doing things they wouldn't normally do. I was one of them.
You put on one of the bravest faces we saw over the course of a day and a half of people edging.
I'll do it for you. It looks kind of like this.
It was very similar to that. Very similar to that. Yeah, it was a little bit of terror and a whole lot of relief once you get to the bottom. Yeah.
So we're talking about Discover the Edge, which happened at the West Star Building. It was a fundraiser for the Kansas Children's Discovery Center last year. And it happened at 13 stories. You get up at the top of the building, you're on a rope, and you rappel down the side of the building. And I'd never thought that I'd want to do that. And I don't even know why I said yes to it.
I'm not sure you did want to do it.
I did. I did. When we said yes to it, I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, what did I just say yes to? Like,
as a volunteer for the event, I was the marketing chair last year, and even as a volunteer for the event, the night before, I also rappelled. And the night before, I remember pouring myself a rather stiff drink and going, why am I doing this? What did I sign up to do? Oh my God, this is insane. And, I'll be honest, it was insane, but it was the best kind because you were really pushing yourself to do something that was new and interesting for yourself. But on top of that, for a lot of people, they hadn't had the opportunity to do something that was new and interesting that also benefited our community's kids.
Yeah.
And, so all of the money that individuals raised to rappel off the side of the building, that's the cool benefit for them. But the long-term benefit is for the city, for the community, and for these kids that some can't afford to go to the Discovery Center, some can't afford to go to the Discovery Center. So how do we make sure that everybody can get over there to experience all that science, experience all the music, experience all the different lectures and speakers and tours and things like that
it's
they
such
bring
a magical place. If you think back to being a kid growing up here, and I'm a little jealous that
I am too.
We had cool things growing up here, but that place would have been awesome to be a kid at.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. It's just a fantastic spot, and people having the opportunity to do something very unique. I know. Going off the side of a building, I'm the kind of guy who, when I went up on top of a ladder, my knees would get shaky.
Same here.
Really?
I am not. I am 6 feet tall without heels on, and I would stay away from a 20-foot ladder every day and twice on Sundays. So it's work to get up there. But like I said, the overall benefit is massive for everybody. The adults get the adrenaline rush, and the kids get the help.
Absolutely.
So it's cool.
And it was like overcoming. It was a fear. It was overcoming a fear. So not only.
Well, and that was, I did a lot of research last year. One of the big things that we really stumbled into was people that are interested in what's classified as an extreme sport. So Tough Mudder, warrior dashes, Spartan races, all that kind of stuff. Or at least that's my frame of reference, to be fair. The people that are interested in those types of events, they're not necessarily doing it just because it's a physical challenge. They're doing that, they seek that adrenaline and that push because it's a mental and emotional thing that they're trying to deal with, not necessarily the physical thing. We can all get in some sense of physical shape, but what's the mental and emotional thing that you're trying to surmount? And that's really what it was for a lot of people on that wall. We had, our demographic was, I believe, 80% women that went over. And, when you really stop and think about that, those are the mothers that are championing the cause for their kids. So it was really, the Over the Edge staff was really blown away that we had that many women rappelling last year. Because they said it's usually all the guys, and all the guys were the ones holding the ropes last year. So
Kansas ladies are nothing to be
ladies
messed
made
with.
it happen.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
Now, I want to bring this up that we're going to be doing it again this year. So it's
Yes.
coming back, and this is very exciting. So, last year was great, but there's going to be an opportunity again for people to do it.
There is going to be another opportunity again. We are seeking sponsors already. We will be opening up the website, fingers crossed, right around May 1. So that's the big thing I wanted to make sure I got a chance to come and talk to you guys about today. So if people are interested in signing back up and raising that money again, it is a $1,000 minimum, but obviously we would love for people to shoot for the stars on that as well. And so we will have that website open for people to sign up and rappel very, very soon. And that's primarily the biggest thing we want them to be ready for, is to be watching for that. So.
And it's an excellent fundraising opportunity, because really there's the sign up to do it, and then you go out and you just it's easy enough to get people to pledge to see that. There's enough people who want to see me jump off a wall. So, I don't know. It's easy. Toss your boss.
We all have
like
our
that.
fans, don't we? No, yeah, it's such a cool reward to be able to raise that money, and then be able to your gift for the whole thing is you get to do something completely out of your comfort zone. And last year with a fledgling event, we weren't sure how everybody was going to perceive this crazy thing we wanted to do, and surprisingly enough, Topeka's really ready for some crazy things, some really great crazy things.
They
So
sure
we're
are.
excited to be a part of that.
Discover the Edge is proof of that. Check it out, folks. Of course, discovertheedge.org is the website for the Kansas Children's Discovery Center. I want to thank Jen Goetz so much for joining us here today in the studio to tell us all about it. It's going to be a great event. It's happening Saturday, September 3rd, but get it on your calendars, get fundraising, and get ready to go over the edge with Discover the Edge.
Brought to you by Field of Greens and The Break Room, because TV 25 cares.